The Pearl of the Antilles, tropical paradise, a Caribbean getaway an hour and a half from Florida. That's what travel brochures have said about Haiti, an island nation of beaches and mountains. The beaches and the mountains are still there, but few tourists enjoy them. Instead of tourists, most of Haiti's visitors are soldiers. First from the United States and now a multinational army under United Nations authority. Rather than coming for holidays and fun, they came to retrieve Haiti from the brink of anarchy and impose order, while Haitians try to establish government infrastructures and social stability. While national and international leaders struggle with those issues in government buildings and hotel rooms, most Haitians struggle with basic and even more urgent issues: food to eat, water to drink, and jobs to do. There's where you find the real Haiti, according to 25-year resident Dr. Hollis Clark.
There used to be a time when I used to have to tell people where Haiti was. Certainly the news is taking care of that. Everybody knows where Haiti is now, but Haiti has two sides, and most of the time the thing that you see in the news are the bad sides. Very seldom does the good news get out. And the thing I think that I like the best about Haiti is just people. The Haitian people are just wonderful, loving people. Every culture has people that are not wonderful and not loving, but Haiti certainly has an awful lot of nice people.
2/3 of Haiti is mountainous, the most in the Western Hemisphere. A Haitian proverb goes, "Dayaman, gainman," which means beyond mountains, more mountains. And that certainly applies geographically, but it also summarizes the history of the people of Haiti. It seems that straining to overcome some barrier to economic or political freedom is like climbing to the top of a mountain, reveals still more obstacles. But another Haitian proverb is, "Oui, jodi, men songe demain." See today, but remember tomorrow is coming. There's hope for tomorrow. So even seeing mountains and more mountains, people have hope.
Haiti is a beautiful country, dramatic as the mountains and the ocean and some of the deserts, the rice paddies show a very beautiful country. Although some of it is not beautiful, it's just raw, it's just there, and it's dramatic. But the country's history has been very dramatic also, and the people have suffered greatly over the years. Of course, the Haitians were descendants of slaves who revolted against the French and became the first black republic in the West.
This is Charles Chapman, who lives in Cape Haitian, the second largest city.
Since that time, there has been a cycle of rather brutal leadership or response to leadership, and so the people have really suffered under many, many difficult circumstances. I see the Haitian people as a very strong people.
Haiti's largely rural. 70% of the people live in the countryside, where most of them are subsistence farmers. Agriculture is by far the most important activity in the nation. These men are preparing a field for planting. It must be ready so that they can plant corn when the rains begin in a few weeks. While breaking the ground by hand is primitive by U.S. standards, these men are actually using newly learned methods. Some have to do with soil preparation, while one is the revolutionary idea of improving efficiency by working together rather than seeing neighbors as a threat.
They describe this as a central plateau because it's a high plateau that's relatively flat. Where we're located, we're just right outside the mountains and at the edge of the plateau.
Mark Rutledge is an agronomist who has spent 10 years in Haiti.
TAME stands for Teaching agriculture by means of extension. It's a program that's designed to teach farmers, farmers teaching farmers how to use improved agricultural techniques.
As a Southern Baptist missionary working with Haitian Baptists, Mark has to divide his time between Cape Haitian in the north, Port-au-Prince in the south, and the Agricultural Center in the middle. Todd Lowe is also an agronomist, a missionary journeyman on a 2-year assignment. He coordinates the TAME project for Mark.
We have 18 extension agents that we coordinate who work with the farmers. We teach those 18 extension agents different lessons that they go out and teach the farmers, different techniques.
The extension agents are farmers that have successfully completed the agricultural program, and they're involved in groups. A lot of times farmers just kind of go along and whatever happens, happens. And it's kind of like things are out of control all the time. Either things happen well or they happen bad, but it's out of control. Part of the program is taking responsibility first for yourself and then taking responsibility for things around you. And so as part of that, you have to take responsibility for how you do things on your land.
Haiti's proximity to the United States and its position as the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere has brought many church projects and charitable groups wanting to do good. With only limited time or not becoming part of the local culture, too many efforts became largely handout programs in the most accessible areas and contribute to a so-called beggar mentality among the people.
Pretty much it's a competition to see who's going to give the most. Whether generally they'll ask you, it's like, what do we get out of your project if we join up? People are out to see how much money they can get, and there's a lot of things like that going on. But there are a lot of honest people too, really seeking to do something positive, and what you have to do is to identify those people. In general, you'll find that the further the people are from the road, the more likely they are to willing to change. The closer they are to the road, the more likely they are to want a handout. You'll notice that most of the projects are next to the road.
The TAME project only gives a pick and instructions that involve hard work. So, many farmers near the Agricultural Center decline to participate. But it is very popular in the remote villages, many kilometers beyond where four-wheel drive vehicles can go.
A lot of times we have to walk, hike through the little trails because the only way to get there is, we can't get there by motorcycle, we can't get there by car, so we have to hike in. I always joke with the guys that I work with that those canoes are the real step of faith in Haiti because they're dugout logs that people have taken a tree and hewed out. But they do pretty good. Those canoes are, I haven't fell in the water yet, so I guess I can say they're pretty good.
3 hours of hiking and canoeing down the Artibonite River brings Todd and some extension agents to the village of Washmalot to meet with a farmer group. It's one of 20 groups, 200 farmers that started this year. 5 years ago, TAME began with only 5 farmers after most who lived near the Agricultural Center rejected it, since it only gave information, not food or money. But as the success with bigger yields became known, more and more farmers joined. 540 farmers are now involved, and there's a waiting list for next year. Ilioma Pasquet is a member of the Washmalot group.
He said he thinks that it can help him raise more food for his family. So that's the reason that he likes them. He likes the techniques.
Raising more food just became even more important since Ilioma and Madame Ilioma just had their first baby.
We work with those farmers, helping them to understand more about soil conservation, lessons on insecticides, safety with those kind of products. We work with composting. We work with what's called barrière vivant, which is living barriers, where we put trees or plants inside of a barrier to keep water from washing the soil away. We work with ravine control to reduce erosion and things like that. And the songs just help reinforce different ideas that we try to teach. If you do these techniques, that your family will do better. It's easy to remember a song than a lot of the information. Plus, people here love to sing.
Todd and some extension agents joined Ilioma in his steep hillside farm plot to work on the important method of creating water barriers. It's also a demonstration of cooperating and working together.
Well, we try to teach people to work in the manner of the Bible, to relate to each other how the Bible tells us to treat each other.
We look at what the Bible says in Jesus' life and how he tells us to live together, how we're supposed to look out for each other. So that stops the problems of building and erecting barriers, and it causes us to try to solve it. It also causes to accountability.
Merci, bon Dieu, qui va manger. Amen.
Okay. Haitian people love to laugh. I know when I work with the guys I work with, we're always laughing. We're always exchanging jokes, picking on each other, sort of playing. For some, it's a difficult life, but I'm always amazed that no matter how hard a life they have, they always still like to laugh.
Beyond mountains, more mountains. But there's hope. Remember, tomorrow's coming. One big mountain for Haitians to climb is illiteracy. Nearly half the population cannot read or write. But folks, there's hope. We'll see why when we come back after this break. The northern coastal area is considered the most scenic part of Haiti. Just a few miles inland is Limbe.
We started the university about a year ago in January. We've started with 50 students in administration and education. This year we have 40 more students. I believe that it is important because if you are thinking of new Haiti, and if you are thinking of change, we need to give a well-grounded education to the young people.
Dr. Jules Cassayus is president of the Christian University of North Haiti, located in Limbe, near Cap Haitien.
I believe that it is important as Christian because the Christian is salt and light for the world, and I think if we can have good business people, good education people Christians who are doing the job, I think they will be doing a better job.
Dr. Casellas is also president of the Baptist Seminary. Too many students came to the seminary because it was the only advanced education available to them in the area. Obviously, there was a need, and it was urgent, as explained by Charles Chapman.
Even though it was a very difficult time in Haiti with the embargo and the threat of invasion, they felt that there was such a need for continuing education for students here in the north that they had to start it and to expand it from the seminary that was operating. Frankly, we had some concerns that it was not the best time to be doing something like this. But our brothers and sisters here believed that the Lord was telling them it was the right time in spite of all the obstacles, and they started it, and it's making a very good beginning.
Let's read. English.
Chapman is the American Baptist mission correspondent for Haiti. He also teaches English at the university.
March what?
It's a very big help to them to be able to understand English and to hear it and communicate back and forth. So we're trying to get them more proficient in both reading and understanding, but also in speaking English.
Cette année, nous allons étudier dans le 12e royaume. Là, nous avons l'algae.
Gene Gentry teaches biology and is creating the agriculture department.
Well, we've gone through several years of embargo, loss of a lot of jobs. A lot of people are having it really tough. And we have some really quality people here. We have some that aren't quite so quality, but we have a lot of them that have a lot of go up, get up and go. And by training them in business and training the teachers to train the young people better, by training people to do agriculture and eventually maybe in medicine and other things, we're preparing people to lift this country up and get it back. The help can't come from the outside. Some can. Some help can come from the outside, but people have to build themselves. And that's what we hope to do here.
It's a good university for me because I can't pay for all their own, and I can't have the possibility to go to the public university. Because for the public university, you have to pass an exam. About 500 or 700 persons took the exam, and they need only 15 or 17. It's a problem in Haiti, and I like the university. It's a good university for me.
Families with money tend to send their children abroad for college, and too few want to return to Haiti. But these here show a sense of dedication and hope for making a difference.
Haiti needs a lot of things. For example, we need a commitment to respecting the law, the Constitution. So we need committed people to explain to the people what the Constitution is, what the laws are, and get them to respect the law.
I am not a pessimistic person. I am optimistic, but through God, through the gospel, I believe that there can be hope. I wrote a few books about the crisis in Haiti, and many people think that they can solve the Haitian problem their own way, or the American way, or the United Nations way. But I do think maybe through education and good training, that's how we can solve the Haiti problem.
I worked for 20 years in Africa, and when we were evacuated from Zaire, we felt called to come to here. I didn't understand really why, but I think maybe this institution's part of it. And I just like to work with people and help them improve their own lot in life. I don't want to do for them so much as help them to find out ways to help themselves. And I feel this is what God's called me to do.
Overcoming the illiteracy problem begins with elementary education. While schools are available in many areas, Too many families cannot afford the required uniforms and books, which help pay for the schools. Another problem is the teaching method, rote memorization. Some church-related schools, like this one, are trying to teach students how to think, rather than just reciting lessons. The Allegheny Westland Methodist churches operate 11 schools with 1,300 students as part of their ministry. Education is critical according to many, like Ed Brentham.
To me, this is going to be a long learning process. And this is why, for a long time, I've felt like that Haitians need to be educated in so many ways. They need to be educated about thinking for themselves and listening to a democratic way and practicing a democratic way.
Many people feel that education can reduce the fear that comes from voodoo, which has been a factor in Haitian culture throughout its history. Voodoo ceremonies usually involve frantic gyrations seeming to lead to a trance-like state in which the body can withstand normally harmful or painful things like fire. The same supposedly magic powers can be used to threaten harm to an enemy or to intimidate another person.
The voodoo principles and ideas are strong in the country. They go way back in the roots of the people as ways of dealing with problems in society and religious problems and that type of thing. So they are very strong, and we are trying to make a witness of the power of the love of Christ rather than fear of what other people may do to you or have someone else do to you. I don't think we can say we completely understand all that voodoo means to many people.
Here's a history quiz. When did Europeans first come to Haiti? Check your answer. In 1492, Christopher Columbus' third stop on his first voyage was on the coast of North Haiti. It was there that the flagship Santa Maria was wrecked on a reef. And so he left a settlement of 40 men, La Navidad, to look for the source of gold which the native Indians wore. But the Indians wiped out La Navidad before Columbus could come back in less than a year. We'll learn what's happened since then and more about Haiti, its mountains, and its hopes in just a few moments. Haiti became a French colony in the 1600s. In the 1700s, it was the most valuable colony of its size in the world, producing sugar by the labor of slaves brought in from Africa. The French Revolution and unrest among the slaves caused turmoil and violence. Napoleon sent in a major force to stop the slave rebellion, but it succeeded anyway in 1804.
Henri Christophe was one of the heroes. He proclaimed himself king, but shot himself with a silver bullet 14 years later. The prominent relic of that era is the Citadel, Haiti's premier tourist attraction. Christophe had it built, costing the lives of 20,000 laborers to repel an expected invasion by Napoleon, which never came. Christophe's opulent palace ruins are interesting to visit. Also, the local youth make good use of them. The last 175 years saw countless attempts at government by various presidents, kings, emperors, and so forth, interrupted by 20 years of occupation by U.S. Marines sent by Woodrow Wilson in 1915.
There were 7 changes of government in the year before Francois Duvalier, Papa Doc, was elected president in 1957. he became a dictator and then president for life. The country actually progressed economically, but at the price of personal freedoms and the murder of over 50,000 persons. The infamous Tonton Macoutes were recruited to stop any opposition anywhere.
While Duvalier and his son, Baby Doc, held the political power, behind the scenes, economic power became centered in 5 families, according to a U.S. Congress task force on Haiti. After the Duvaliers, those families held the supreme power, according to the report. For decades, Haiti has been the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, with an average annual income of $300 per worker. But at the same time, a sizable elite has amassed great wealth. They live in luxury, 2,000 to 3,000 feet above the garbage and desperation of Port-au-Prince and the mountainous suburbs around Pétionville. Presently, U.S. and other troops follow a United Nations mandate. After restoring democratically elected Jean-Bertrand Aristide as president, they're trying to provide stability to allow creation of a functioning government of all the people.
Well, Haiti needs to rebuild, and people have to work together in order to do that. Because of the kind of history of violence and opposing political forces in recent years, that's not easy. But they're trying.
While people no longer buy an airplane ticket to come to the Pearl of the Antilles for vacations, they still buy tickets and come.
Okay, the first priority that we're going to have this morning is, as quick as that CJ is capable of being put on the road, we need to get it around back and get it loaded for today's loadout.
A survey team came in, and just as quick as the embargo was lifted, and they found that the people were not starving to death, that they were living off of a basic vegetarian diet, that they were growing themselves, and their diet was low in protein. They decided to supplement their diet with a high-protein ration.
Harry Campbell is talking about a food distribution project of Southern Baptist churches and missionaries. Its purpose is to help families like the Edmund Joseph family in Mirabelais, a medium-sized city in the mountains of south-central Haiti. They wait patiently for a week's rations of beans, flour, rice, and oil being delivered today.
With my military retirement, well, that is enough that we can go wherever we're needed to serve the Lord and get by. That meets our needs.
Harry and his wife Nancy are from Texas. They work as a team on mission projects like this.
You have to look past the garbage in the streets, past the condition of the houses, and when you do that, you can see the beauty of the country, the beauty of the people. I've loved every minute I've been over here. I don't feel threatened. The people are friendly. They like Americans. I have yet to be in a situation where I felt like my life was in danger at all, and I've been all over this part of the country.
The Campbells spent over 4 months in Haiti, coordinating the work of volunteer teams who prepared and distributed food weekly for 4 months to about 40,000 Haitians. Teams of 8 to 12 persons arrived every Saturday at their own expense, sometimes helped by their home church. Their prime task was getting rice, beans, flour, and cooking oil to the target families.
One person would scoop the beans out of the box and turn that can of beans upside down in a bag, and then pull the can out of the bag, pass it over to somebody else. We had a little machine that they would push that plastic top down through, and that would wrap a piece of tape around the top of it, sealing the bag of beans so that it wouldn't spill. And then that bag of beans would move farther down the table, meeting up with a bag of rice and a bag of flour, and would be packed into a larger plastic sack that was sacks the size that you would get in your grocery store to carry food out of a grocery store. A little track went into the sack. That track was a small funny book type pamphlet that gave the story of salvation.
It's real interesting to see Haitians' reactions to us being here. That I thought it would be a little hostile because of the things we see on TV back at home about Haiti, and we got here and they stare at us, and then when we wave and smile, they just light up, and that's real nice to see.
That's Jane Peacock from Oregon, and this is Joe Herndon.
I'm here because I've heard about it and got to think about it, and the Lord impressed me to come. So I came. I'm the only one from Oklahoma, 74 years old. We're going to Maribel this morning, and we'll be having the truck packed up with the food and the oil.
Over like that. Now then you can work off of the board rather than having to go over the top.
As you leave Port-au-Prince, the National Highway pavement is so full of craters, you can hardly average 15 miles an hour. The further out you go, the worse it gets.
We've driven over areas that you could find that some years ago it was a hard-topped road, but over 90% of the surface would be missing, and where the surface was, maybe that would be 6 inches higher than where the roadbed had worn or washed out to. That it was just, the road was totally disintegrated. So four-wheel drive is just almost a necessity on any vehicle to be halfway satisfactory in getting around.
I just get such a wonderful feeling of accomplishment for God's work, because He instructs us to help people in every way that we can.
This is Paula Benefield.
I love to see the smile in person that they give whenever you've cared about them. And that's what this world's about, showing, as Christians, showing one another that we truly care, not just on our knees, but on our feet and with our hands.
Jesus loves the little children of the world.
The Edmund Joseph family waited patiently for their family packs and then carried them home, about 2 blocks down the street. Edmund is a carpenter who has no income to feed his family of 12. There are few jobs in Mirabelais, like the rest of Haiti. The house of sticks and mud is typical. There are 3 rooms, mostly for sleeping and dressing. The cooking is done in the little kitchen made of sticks behind the house. Most of the daytime is spent outside. They can only pray that some work opportunity would come soon, since the food distribution was nearing the end. The volunteers head back down the mountain road towards Port-au-Prince. It's 35 miles and takes 3 hours of tough driving. After supper, they head for their makeshift dormitory, built into the stuffy attic of the hot warehouse, where the electricity is off much more than it's on.
Well, it's been a tough day. Worked on those bags all day. Went out and delivered them. You know, that's worth it. Go out and watch those people take those bags and look at them and smile and just enjoy it. And I know the Lord's working out there, doing a good job. And so that makes my feet stop hurting, and I rest. I'm ready to go again.
The food distribution program was replaced with water well projects, so the Baptist volunteers keep on coming to Haiti. Southern Baptist missionaries and volunteers got over 800 water wells drilled throughout Haiti the past 10 years. Earlier, you met one of the key persons in that effort, Ed Brentham from South Carolina. The Brenthams have worked in Haiti 15 years.
When I first came to Haiti, I was in the village of Ferrier, and I seen a great need for fresh water there because the people were getting water from the river.
Over 500 of the water wells are now broken or worn and need work.
For the next 3 months, we'll have volunteer groups come in from the States and repair the wells that are broken. I just had a trip up in the Northeast, and I would say 95% of the wells up there are not working because there's been a long period of time that because of the embargo, we weren't able to get parts in here.
The people here in this town called Carrefour, New York, say before this well was drilled, they had to walk 10 kilometers to get good water. Being only a few miles from the ocean, they can dig a hole and get water, but it's not good water.
He's saying this water is more, it's better, because the other one that they dig the holes in, the water is like, have a little taste like salt, and this don't have that taste, it's like a clear water, and it's also clean. The other one usually have dirt in it. This water, you can give it to a newborn baby, and the other water, you can't do that. You have to boil it like a couple of times to give it to a baby.
The electric winch that was supposed to pull the pipe out of the well broke on the first try, so the volunteers have pulled all 100 feet out by hand.
It has leather cups in the cylinder that pulls the water up as they pump with a handle. And when this happens, we have to pull all the drop pipe and everything and get to the cylinder.
Ed and Mary Brentham both quit good jobs 15 years ago because they knew that God was calling them to minister full time. That call turned out to be preaching and doing water wells in Haiti, where they still are, well past retirement age.
I've always said a minister don't retire, you know, until the Lord calls him home. I am 69. I'll be 70 in July. And hopefully I have another 10 years of really ministering. It amounts to this. If you give people food and they drink polluted water, that food ain't going to do them much good. But if you give them fresh water and give them just a handful of food, it's going to do them a lot more good because that fresh water to go with it makes the difference.
The Bible tells us that God loves us, each of us as an individual.
We had some of the volunteers from the states that had testified, and we passed out some tracts, and they invited anyone that wanted to accept Jesus, and I believe we had 2 young men that we prayed with to accept Christ, and that's what it's all about, you know, and reaching out to people, not only with physical water, but with the spiritual water.
But outside volunteers aren't the only ones who are helping others here. Most Haitian Baptist churches have some ladies in a Dorcas group. The name comes from a biblical story of Dorcas, a lady in Joppa, who was full of good works, including making clothes for poor people. We go back up to the agricultural center in the plateau and look in on a Dorcas group. Every week they meet for Bible study and prayer, and usually some kind of project, according to Todd Lowe.
This is the ladies group for the church that we go to. They try to help those in the community that can't do some sewing for themselves, who can't make clothes for themselves, or don't have the money to buy clothes.
Each lady has from 5 to 9 kids. 3 have lost their husbands. All are frail and malnourished. Most are years younger than they look. But here they are, looking beyond their own needs, sewing clothes for a poor family and singing, "It is well with my soul."
What about the children, those most at risk, you might be asking? In the countryside, they seem to be doing okay. But in the city, that's a different story. But we're going to show you some hope right after this brief break.
This is Brother Luke Golicourt, born in Haiti. At age 24, he went to the United States, but he never forgot home and the poverty. Finally, his Catholic order, the Brothers of the Good Shepherd, assigned him here. He opened a soup kitchen, but soon found a new calling.
And the soup kitchen, when I finish clean the place in the evening, the first boy don't have no place to go. His name is Joel Daniel. He asked me the place to stay. I give him permission to stay in the refuge, in the soup kitchen. The second day, one of the one asked me. He was living in the street, his father begging for living. His name is Samson. He was 11 years old. I asked him to come. Then they come each one after the other.
The Brothers of the Good Shepherd, headquartered in Canada, last year began an orphanage. It has reached its present capacity, 21 boys. Another brother of the Good Shepherd is Rafael Mazala.
I am a registered nurse, so looking at them from the nursing perspective, I can't recall seeing children with arms this thin, with waist either thin because they have no food, or with just a bulging waist. We call it kwashiorkor, which is a protein deficiency in their diet.
The boys range in age from 4 to 20 years. This leased house is in a very nice neighborhood. The brothers hope to raise the money to buy it and then build dormitory space and a chapel.
Our overall plan is to have an orphanage for a maximum of about 75 boys at this site, perhaps starting with girls at another site.
After the boys get home from public school each day, they have their own English class.
Red. As far as we understand, they have no opportunity in school to learn English. My idea is that English is probably the best gift I can give them. They can get a job in a bank, in a hotel, in a business, perhaps in the airline industry, any kind of a business or venture which has anything to do with an international community will use English.
8. I do this kind of work because I think it's the most demanding now in the country.
1.
Beginning age 7 to 13. Those people, I call them helpless. They can't help themselves. They have somebody to help them.
Well, Jesus came down to save us, so I think it's my response to that. It's my belief that we now have to also do the same thing, help spread the word of God through action, through doing whatever we could. And I think that's what's motivating me. I don't feel I'm a strong person, but I feel like God working through me and through any of us, we can be down here in Haiti or anywhere.
The sign translates Sheepfold of the Good Shepherd. It's a small stairway of hope on the mountain of poverty.
I got my first pair of glasses, and I realized that all of a sudden what a tremendous difference it made to me. And then I started thinking about all these other people in the region around me that had eye problems, and I started...
Hollis Clark was an American Baptist missionary doctor doing general medicine in rural Haiti for 25 years.
And Wanda and I, as we got a little older, we started saying somebody ought to address the eye problems for the people of northern Haiti. And you know, you have to be a little careful when you start telling God somebody ought to do something. So we went back, trained in ophthalmology, and at the age of about 50, we came back and started the eye center here in Cape Haitian. He came in, and he was totally blind. In fact, he had to be led in. This morning, he was able to walk in on his own power. In fact, 40 days ago, when we did the first surgery, he was totally blind. Last Thursday, we did his second eye. And this man is just tickled pink. One of the main things he's excited about is he now is able to go back into the work of the local church. He's able to take the responsibility of the local outstation preaching station that he'd been responsible before, previous to his loss of vision. So he's really, we've made a dramatic change in his life, and I think we've made a contribution to the local church also. On a Monday, we will probably see somewhere between 100, 120, 30 people. We will see those people and take care of them. Also, there'll be acute infections, injuries, and things. For example, this morning we had two emergency surgeries. One of the things that we're most proud of is the staff, the Haitian staff that we've been able to assemble at this institution. We've been, I say, very fortunate in some of the national Haitian physicians we've been able to attract. We have a young woman that works with us by the name of Dr. Carmel Lucien. Carmel came to us about 5.5 years ago, just as we were getting started. To me, she's a gift of God. In fact, she is doing some of the most advanced microsurgical procedures that you can actually do in any of ophthalmology anywhere in the world. In fact, last Friday, she put in 2 glaucoma implants in a child, which has probably never been done in this country before. In fact, I've never done it.
I want to help my brothers and sisters. And I choose the ophthalmology because every time I see a blind person, it's like a big problem for me. So I chose to help in this sense. I think God chose me. And every time one patient next day after surgery can see, and I just said, thank you, God. It's you for me. It's not me. It's just you using me to do it.
God has provided us with what we feel is some of the finest state-of-the-art equipment. And that is primarily due to the fact that the American people are very generous people. And I don't mean just churches. We have the ophthalmic industry has been very gracious in supplying us with a lot of equipment.
There are a lot of good things going on in Haiti. You know, when you start to realize that both of these people this morning came in here and they're blind from their cataracts, and tomorrow, when they wake up, they're not going to be blind anymore.
People that come know that this is a Christian institution, and many of our staff try to make a big effort, including myself, to try to lead people to Christ, to help them realize that physical sight is one thing, but spiritual insight is a much nicer gift. In fact, we have one young lady that's led over 90-some people to the Lord this year. As you look in the Scripture, there are numerous instances of Jesus healing blind people. And I think as a young child, I remember these stories, and they always move me and touch me. And as I think of the people whose sight we're able to restore, I think this is a natural invitation that when a person has been blind or had a real serious eye problem, and they've come and we've been able to minister to them in the name of Christ, there's a natural affinity, the natural willingness to listen to the other things that we have to say to them also. And certainly Christianity is one of the main
motivating forces in our life, my wife and I's life, and certainly we feel that this is worth sharing with them, not only our technical medical skills, but we feel that they should also have the privilege of knowing Christ and what he can do in their own personal lives. When I look at the problems of Haiti and I see the tremendous numbers of people that have them, if I were to focus on that, I probably might get discouraged because I feel that somehow I can't make a difference. But in my life, I've tried to focus on the individual. I'll be able to offer that one individual that comes with a cataract that's been there for many times, or that individual that happens to need a pair of glasses, or a person that has glaucoma. I can focus on that one individual, and I can make a change in that individual's life. I don't think I can focus on the government and change the government, and I figure that that's not in my providence, but God didn't call me to do that. God has called me to be faithful, God has called me to be here, and God has called me to take care of that one person at a time.
Dr. Clark seems to be looking at the kernels of hope, doesn't he, rather than the mountains. That's the way the others look at things too, isn't it?
There's hope in the agriculture project, in the new university. There's hope in the way volunteers come and help, in the attitudes of the Dorcas ladies and many other Haitians. And certainly the work with orphans gives hope.
Folks, it's obvious that Haiti has mountains beyond mountains, problems after problems. But those many mountains will be climbed one step at a time by people who really believe there's hope.